Well, hello, it's Friday. RMCC Faith Family, it's a joy, delight to be able to speak to you just for a few moments. I love Friday nights. I love Friday nights under the lights of a stadium just like the one that I'm standing in at this moment, where students get to come, high school students get to come together, and two teams get to collide and battle it out on, in this case, on a football field, and determine, at least for that night and for that moment, which team is superior. I love the spirit. I love the competition that goes along with that. Right here in this area, the sidelines, some things that occur right here are so important to the outcome of the game, because it's here on the sidelines that a coach or coaches stand. And it's the coaches who make decisions. And those decisions are important because, again, those decisions have everything to do with determining the outcome of the game. Decisions are like that, aren't they? Decisions determine outcomes of competitive sports. Decisions determine outcomes of organizations. Decisions determine, to a great deal, the health and the outcome of what we consider this thing called the church. Decisions are really, really important. I want to talk to you about one decision today that really is important about the outcome of your life, or the outcome of my life. And it has everything to do with God's invitation. And one of the things that I've been thinking about particularly a lot lately is the decision about allowing God to love us. Because I think God is constantly asking us. He's asking you, He's asking me, will you let me love you? Will you let me love you? And throughout history, God has shown, God has demonstrated, God has been faithful in regards to loving us and showing us His expressions of love, and how much He desires relationship with us, because it is in that relationship that we do discover again that God really desperately wants to love us. And I think that part of the determining factor there is our own determination, our own desperation, really, to be loved and to allow God to love us. You know, the fact is that in life we get scrapes and we get bumps, and sometimes those scrapes and bumps are really, really serious. They go really deep into our soul. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, or experience rejection, or going through a period of despair. And as a result, a lot of those times they leave us a little bit hardened, and they leave us with some calluses that sometimes get in the way of our answering that question in an affirmative way. Will you let me love you? Because again, we just kind of turn inward, and sometimes our response is less than really what God is looking for and what God is hoping for. But what I want to encourage you with today is this. Here's what I know about God. Again, everything that I've just said, that God is faithful, that God has shown us time and time again, and throughout history, and certainly throughout your lifetime and my lifetime, that He so wants relationship with you and with me. He wants us to experience His love. And that requires the level of trust. And it requires us leaning into God's Word. Here's what the Word says. The righteous cry and the Lord hears. Now, it's one thing to hear, because the fact is that there have been people in our life that have known our cries, and yet they've heard those, and they've known those, and they've heard those cries, and yet they haven't necessarily responded to those cries. We all have that. But here's what we also know about God. The righteous cry, the Lord hears and delivers. So God's action is in response to our own cry. Why? Because He desperately wants relationship. So, decisions determine outcomes. Right here, on a sideline just like this. It'll happen all throughout the country, tonight, on a Friday night, or whatever night it might be. In your life, in my life, decisions determine outcomes. And man, I just want to encourage you to make a decision that allows God to love you the way He wants to love you, to lavish you